So what are the fees on a commercial real estate loan? So you can see here in the visual, just some of the basic fees that I'm going to address. First and foremost is the loan fee. The banker works very hard on this, and there's an hourly wage for that banker. You have to think about the assistant that has to do all of the paperwork process, pulling the reports, communication with title and escrow, all of that. We have people who do documentations. We have legal people that take a look at the documents to make sure that they were done correctly. All of that costs money. So generally speaking, there's a loan fee on a commercial real estate loan. Those ranges, and these are negotiable, anywhere between 0.5% up to 1.5%, 1.25% of the actual loan dollar amount. The next fee I'm going to talk about is appraisal. Appraisal and valuations, they can range depending anywhere from $150 all the way up to a couple $1,000 to pay, depending on if it's a valuation or an appraisal. And that is a cost that's paid on to the borrower, and usually it's paid upfront by the borrower. Flood determination. We have to make sure that the property and each parcel within that property is not in a flood zone. If it isn't a flood zone, we have to get flood insurance, and that is what the flood determination does, is checks the maps to make sure that you are or aren't in a flood zone. Next is called an EDR, also known as environmental. Again, these can range from $150 up to several thousand based on if it's a desktop environmental report, a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, all of that. So again, the bank wants to make sure that there is no sort of environmental problems within the property. Recording fees. Recording fees is usually a deed of trust. That is actually what's filed on the county that shows that we have a lien on the property because of the loan. And there's also what's called an assignment of rents that needs to be filed with the county, that if you don't actually pay, we can collect rents from your tenants in order to make those payments. And both of those are recorded with the county, and there's a cost to doing so. Tax service. Because generally speaking on commercial loans, your property taxes are not included in your monthly payment. We have to make sure that you are staying on top of paying your taxes. If not, we have to get involved. And so that's what the tax service does. Credit report fees. We have to make sure that you're creditworthy. We actually pull a credit report on each of the 3 bureaus, and we make sure that you are actually creditworthy. A wire. Well, we probably need to wire the funds to escrow, especially if you're purchasing commercial real estate, and there's a fee for that. Escrow. Escrow is very important, especially on purchases, because they're the people that facilitate the buyer and seller transaction, and they make sure that everything is done, that everything has been recorded properly, and that the purchase and sale agreement that's done is actually enacted accurately. And last but certainly not least is title fees. Title insurance is crucially important because we need to make sure as a bank that we are actually held as the lien holder on the property. You also want to make sure that your name is properly listed on the title, as well as there's no other liens on the property, so it's 100% yours.